You might be struggling trying to find your Atom configuration file. So the Atom text editor here we have, that's a very nice text editor, and you might want to save your configuration, and you could copy it to another machine so you don't have to manually update your configuration through the user interface. Or in our case, we're going to move the configuration file to the CS server because that's one of the assignments. So what we want to do here is first we can open up FileZilla. This is an FTP client. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and we are going to connect to our remote host. So that's cs.indstate.edu, and then we're going to use a student account, cs20100, type in a password, and then a port number, and we can click Quick Connect. And what's going to happen here on the left-hand side here, this is my local computer. Right? Let's expand this a little bit. And then on the right-hand side, these two panes are the remote computer or the CS server. So I click Quick Connect. I don't like to save the passwords. You can do whatever you like. The first time you do this, you'll see this message that says the server's host key is unknown. So you want to make sure that this is the proper host name, and if it is, go ahead and click Always Trust This Host. All right, and then click OK. And you'll never have to do that. You won't get that message again unless you install FileZilla fresh on another computer. Okay, so now we see this right-hand side is our student account on the CS server, and then the left-hand side is the local machine. So I want to find the Atom configuration file. All right, so we can scroll that down there. So here we see this PC, we have the C drive, and then a common place to look for users is in the users directory, and then you want to pick the actual username. In this case, my username on this particular machine is just a generic name, this user, but it might be your actual name, right? So whatever directory we click on up in this top pane, we see the contents of it down here in the bottom pane. Okay, so in this case, we see all of the items inside our user directory, our user's home directory. Okay, and that is where Atom installs its configuration information. So this .atom folder, we can open that up and see how it's highlighted up here. Down here is the contents of that directory. Right? The thing we want to look for is the config.cson. All right, this has all of the configuration information for our current settings in Atom. All right, so what we can do is we can copy this over to the CS server, which is part of the assignment. So here by default we start out in our user's home directory, which is CS201, right? And we have a labs directory, and then we can open up lab 1, and this is where we'd want to put it. Okay, so we can click on config.cson and drag it over, and then we see it up here. We get this message over here. Now we can double check to make sure that it worked. So I can open up a command line on Windows, SSH, and I'm going to log in as my student user. Alright, and I've logged in. ls, we have labs, so I'm going to cd into labs/lab1. ls, there's our file, and we can check to see what's in that file with the cat command, config.cson. And these are my settings. Okay, so that's how you move the Atom config from your local machine. That's how you find it on your local machine, and then that's how you move it over to the CS server.